the Kurozomi were born to burn, we finally ended Wano. Egghead was heating up like the fair maidens at the pleasure quarter. Garp, Blackbeard, Shanks, even Rayleigh, which kinda counts, I think. But regardless, we're here to recap Egghead in 1500 seconds, which is 25 minutes in case you didn't know, but time is pressing and there's a lot to get to, so here we go. Wano is wrapped up and the Straw Hats finally have new bounties. This leads to some contention as both Jinbei and Zoro have higher bounties than Sanji, and then he starts calling Jinbei a fish and Zoro has to defend him. Luffy is somehow revealed as a true emperor, but is on punishment for a stunt that Captain Nami did not approve of. In contrast, we see another newly proclaimed emperor in Buggy between a sword and a sandy place, as he somehow got on the bad side of two former warlords because they were named his subordinates. We then get the perspective in regards to how Lonely Boy and Failure Man got together, in which Croco Boy needed the world's strongest to accomplish, well, his new ambitions. Because of some roundabout events, Buggy is named captain, and they're named his subordinates with bounty reveals for them as well. Croco Boy finally gave his fans some ammo in which they can't be trolled by Deer Park water anymore because, well, he finally got a bounty raise. But the biggest thing is Mihawk, with greater sword skill than even Red here. Oddly specific, he had a higher bounty than his captain, Buggy. But that wasn't even the biggest twist, because then we find out that Sabo was alive, like nobody expected. Meanwhile, Oda was massacring my boy in the cover story, and we finally got what we've been waiting for. More Wano. Okay, quick context. We were killing Oda in previous chapters because we thought he did not have Marco say goodbye to Luffy, and then also the real reason behind Yamato staying behind. That's a lot of behind. So yes, it was slightly annoying, but very good in regards to closing important character arcs and plot lines. But meanwhile, on Amazon Lily, it's destroyed, and Hancock is thinking about Luffy. But why? Well, here's a flashback. Marines, of course, are after Hancock as the warlords are no more, but they aren't the only ones that are there. Zihaha himself with Vasco Shot and Katarina have showed up, but then we see a mysterious little girl that resembles ... Hancock is being preyed on by Katarina and Vasco Shot, and he wants to be good friends with her, so he requests her back alive. That's not creepy at all. Hancock, of course, is resisting, but then we see a Lunarian-looking small midget brown-skinned white-haired demon with a blade cut a mountain in half. After a second, you realize that he's actually pretty huge, and well, obviously not just a pacifista. What is it? In the midst of chaos, Blackbeard captures Hancock, and here he comes. In all his beautiful glory, Silver's Rayleigh, who somehow manages to scare Blackbeard away, with Clout, of course. But Teach, that boy Teach, he's always leaving with something. He takes Kobe with him. The Straw Hats find out Sabo is a murderer, and Luffy wants to set out to Alabasta to save him. Zoro then tells him, no, remember you said Ace had his own thing? He's a peacock, you gotta let him fly. Funny enough, we somehow segue into Luffy telling the crew of his dream, and of course, we don't see it because Oda loves trolling his fans, but the Straw Hats' reactions to finally hearing Luffy's dream is interesting. Speaking of Sabo, right, because he got himself in a pickle at Lelouchia, and come to find out, Im was ready to take out Lelouchia, and lo and behold, Sabo is actually there trying to deliver a message to Dragon and the boys or girls, then boom, some contraption annihilated the island and Sabo is dead again. The Straw Hats now happen upon a warm Eden and Eddie, and we find a baby Bonnie hiding in this eddy. I guess this is truly the start of this new arc. There's a huge shark coming from underwater, and while trying to save this baby Bonnie, we get a closer look, and it is mechanical. The Straw Hats are stuck battling this mechanical beast. We're not sure what's happening. Tashigi! We see her again with some new and old faces, but oh my god, doll. I now have faith in the Vice Admirals again. Okay, the Straw Hats managed to get separated in true Straw Hats with Supernova on New Island fashion, and we have the name drop. The island is called Egghead and it's 500 years into the future. Oh, this is gonna be good. But we find out Dr. Vegapunk is actually a young, hot chick with more than decent measurables. This can't be right. Frankie starts fanboying, and just like Robin, he never received any indication that Vegapunk was a woman. So of course we scream, imposter! Vegapunk then tries to mob them in the name of science while revealing she's not Destella, and also her massive fleet of sea beast weapons, whatever the hell they are. This transitions per usual into random Zoro gas as she is stopped by, get this, another Vegapunk, Shaka, which says, you should watch out for the demons, Zoro and Robin. And Sanji's blowing her heart eyes, so I get why he wasn't included. But Bonnie is also now trying to make Vegapunk pay for hurting Kuma. But that's not what we thought we knew. We now start to finally realize we're truly 500 years ahead with weather control, holograms, and light pressure gloves. And get this, we meet yet another Dr. Vegapunk, Atlas. Oh yeah, CP0 is on their way to Egghead. And they explain Vegapunk and the satellites while not only revealing their goal is to take out Vegapunk, I'm assuming all of them, but showing Kuma, or rather a Kuma-looking pacifista thingy on board with them. What are these things? Fit check! Luffy, B-, Jinbei C+, Bonnie, A+, and Chopper is perpetually merchandise, so let's say A for the sake of our sponsor. Just kidding, there's no sponsor. We have police? We have police pacifista? Please don't hurt my daddy. Woman, that ain't your daddy, and if it is, he's trying to kill me. Female Law? What multiverse is this? Wait, who's chasing Law? Is this a canon chapter? Wait, oh, Blackbeard Pirate Devil Fruit reveal. So Daku has a disease fruit, I could have guessed that, but Burgess is just stronger and Van Augur can warp? Blackbeard had a plan to ambush one of them after they left Wano, and Law, oh boy, I hate it had to be him. You thought it was done after Kaido and Lin. That's off the top. Meanwhile, in the cover story, Aokiji is looking like a bad man and kidnapping Katakuri's younger sister. I hope you're ready for what comes next, mister. The top again, I'm on a roll, but more Blackbeard versus Law. Man, Law is in trouble with this crew. His crew is absolute, wait, oh, they can spit water. Why does Blackbeard always take all this damage every time? A shock wheelie through the chest? Even Lin was shaken up. How will he recover? Speaking of Lin, Pudding said if Mom is still alive, does that mean she knows something? I don't know. Big Mom might actually be dead. Again, Akainu's being stopped by the Death No Mi as he has no choice but to say something cool while saying it's also frustrating. Rinse and repeat. Now, Luffy and the other in their alternate universe forms was kinda cool, but Jinbei telling Bonnie that he don't know about her daddy is peak drama. But finding out Kuma is from a special people confirms another race? Fit check! Nami and Robin, of course, A+. What the hell? Sanji is a B-, Usopp A, and Frankie C. But what is Shaka talking about? And why is he going to die, and why does Dragon need to hear him out? Wait, Caribou's still here? I agree with Zoro. Get off the island. I'm smiling, but I'm serious. Oh, they want to create their own sun and escalators, and what the hell is that? Jinbei, but young and dark with wings and a devil fruit? He has Senor Pink's fruit and is fighting the Straw Hats minus the new monster trio? Seraphim, huh? Okay, more punks. Edison, Pythagoras, and York? Yeah, Shaka's design is clean. And York, that's all she does, huh? What a life. The future island is fantastic, says the Straw Hats. But wait till we tell you it's the past and show you an ancient robot that existed 900 years ago. Would you believe me? Says Shaka. 900 years ago, Void Sentry stuff is going to trigger a Robin response about the Void. So, Void Sentry rundown, 20 King rundown, and then the Straw Hats now know what we've known for a while. Everything was destroyed to protect things. But things we don't know. But come to find out, Professor Clover was an adventurer who was obsessed about the Void and apparently a rival to Kaido as he broke out of prison 10 times. Eureka! Giving a rundown of how O'Hara won with the books in the lake while the Tree of Knowledge burned. Through the ignorance of soldiers, it brought our Robin to tears, man. The will of O'Hara lives on, but through giants? We'll get back to that. A young Vegapunk and a young dragon, both motivated by the death of Clover, and also the O'Harans that led to the Revolutionary Army. But yeah, back to the giants. The giant will of O'Hara, it also lives through this guy named Jaguar D. Saul. Ice time, right, Aokiji? But wait, here's Vegapunk. Is he the real old man? Bonnie doesn't like him though, maybe because his head is much smaller now. Well, here comes Punk Records and the satellite explanations. We have 6 clones, each an expert that has to synchronize once a day with their experience and knowledge. They all use the same brain, and this is a hint of Vegapunk's dream for the world that Fishman Jinbei is not buying, and he has a perspective on people hating different ideologies. Vegapunk does not care. Yeah, Bonnie's still mad though. But time for ancient giant lore. It attacked Mary Joa 200 years ago, but ran out of energy, which was the same year Fishman discrimination became a big thing. Now, Vegapunk's great ideas for Luffy to take him off of Egghead because of, well, fate, but guess who just arrived? Not Santa Claus, but yes, CP0 and the boys. And girl, Rob Gucci is back, baby. So now, speaking of triggers and robots doing random things because they can, there goes Kuma flying off of Kamabaka. Is he going? I guess we'll find out. Things are escalating quickly because CP0 is denied access to Egghead because the mission was also to find CP5, CP7, and CP8. And well, obviously they don't take no for an answer, as that wouldn't be interesting if they went home. And okay, well, S-Bear can use Kuma's powers. They all got poofed to the island. Would you look at that? Vegapunk is now a Straw Hat. S-Hawk, S-Snake, and S-Shark are mobilized, and here we go. Oh, Sentamaru is here as well, which makes sense since he's Vegapunk's bodyguard. Stussy has apparently been here before, but how? And Atlas is trying to stand up to Lucci. Why? 6 King pistol? Wait, Rikogan with the first attack? This man has grown. Oh yeah, they lock eyes. Pigeon Guy versus Straw Hat round 2? Yeah, we're on fire. Lucci wants to attack, but Luffy's officially an emperor now, so technically can engage, and Kaku's trying to tell him that. Yeah, I don't think he cares as much. Oh yeah, by the way, Akainu is just finding out that Kizaru is on his way to Egghead. Wait a second, Lucci is awakened and Kaida? Okay, not the time. Huh? Luffy went gear 5? Wow! For what? Okay, he he went Gear 5 for Vegapunk exposition. Here's what we know. The Gangbang fruit is not in the Devil Fruit book. He looks like a god who appeared in old texts, and then we get a vague explanation of devil fruits. This is a theory from Vegapunk, by the way. Wink, wink. Apparently, devil fruits are just a possibility for human evolution that someone desired. That's why they're hated by the sea, the mother of nature, because they're unnatural. Yeah, that's one piece. The Seraphim are scary, but Sentomaru is here to help, albeit he is reluctant as CP0 is the world government and his employer, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, so how are the Seraphim controlled, and what's the hierarchy? Oh, okay, well, that makes sense. Rob Lucci versus Gear 5 though. Luffy has no chance. It's not even funny. Yes, Jinbei, they are clones of the old warlord. Sentomaru and Luffy being in the same vicinity again feels good, right? From Sabaody to Sabaody, the Egghead with Kizaru on the way. Wait, Oda, what are you cooking? Lucci just realized he can't beat Luffy, so Sentomaru, you're coming with me and my hand pistol. With no Sentomaru based on the hierarchy, Rob Lucci now has control of the Seraphim. So how did the Seraphim use their fruits? Well, apparently all the fruits can be recreated. Logias are difficult, but never said impossible, but this is done through bloodline elements and green blood. Mela mela! Okay, we have grown men being petrified by a snake. Should we be worried? Either way, the Seraphim are labeled as the strongest form of humanity. High praise, but seeing them in action, how can you doubt it? Luffy, after multiple Gear 5 hits, Lucci's still standing. Not bad, but Luffy's now a giant face. Okay, now he's just toying with Lucci. It's now time to leave Egghead with Punk. Things are too hectic, so let's repair Atlas, but Bonnie still has to find a way to save her dad, so let's just have her go off on her own. Lucci is still kicking though, and declares no one leaves Egghead, while Kizaru from wherever he is requests every single battleship they can send to Egghead. Okay, things are now getting scary. Oh, we figured out where Kuma is going. Head first into the red line. Nice. Lucci's a hater. Why doesn't he view Luffy as an emperor? And he just mopped the floor with you. I respect a dedicated hater though. It's a tough job. Now, things are getting weird as the Labo Phase defense system was deactivated for Lucci and his gang to get in. That's a little weird. Oh wait, there's the Straw Hat ship. Kaku, you should use Sky Slicer Tempest well, you just woke up a beast who was trying to take a nap. Rora Noah! Meanwhile, the Kid Pirates just made it to the Island of the Giants. Things should be peaceful for a while till the Straw Hats get there. Get some rest, Captain Kid. Okay, what the fuck? Garp is headed to Hachinosu to save Kobe. Is he drunk? Okay, Vegapunk cares about Bonnie, but that attack is actually dope. Distorted future? It reminds us of Oda showing the Straw Hats distorted future earlier, and I love it. But why did Vegapunk kill Kuma? He now can't say it because he made a promise to her dad. Wait, is that a room of memories? Which leads to the theory of memories where people lose 21 grams of weight after they die. So is that the weight of the soul? But seeing Kuma being somewhat manipulated by Vegapunk is sad, but the intent isn't necessarily malicious. He's just chasing scientific advancement. Okay, now 2-1-2, Zoro and Brook versus Lucci and Kaku. That doesn't sound fair, but wait, no. 4 Seraphim all down there. Oh yes, Kaku versus Zoro round 2. Okay, what is happening here? Kaku's also waking, but not okay, not the time. Destroy the lab Seraphim. Yeah, Rob Lucci just got put to sleep by Stissy, who is a Mads clone of Miss Buckingham of the Rocks Pirate. Oda, what are you cooking? Stissy takes out Lucci and Kaku fairly easily. She might be useful. So she's been undercover, that's nice. However, if you're on the same authority level, you cannot override the Seraphim. They're not backing down. Oh yes, Zoro versus S-Hawk. We need that. Zoro says that S-Hawk, the creation, is more human than him. Him being, well, you know who him is. Sanji with a casual speed feat of moving to save Edison after the laser was fired. Both guys on fire, man. Sanji and Zoro. Of course, Sanji can be on fire. I guess Zoro, if he has anime, he could either way. But now they lose old man Vegapunk. Where is he? What is going on? Okay, now we're in Sphinx. The Navy came to get Whitebeard's treasure, but the island was protected by Whitebeard Jr. Okay, well, Weevil? Wait, then Greenbull showed up to bring in Weevil and he was captured? And this is before Wano. Okay, well, Kizaru isn't alone either. He's with St. J. Garcia Saturn, one of the Gorosei. Hey, all right, things are officially crazy. The pacifists were deployed by Sentomaru to make sure Vegapunk gets out alive. What's their history, I wonder? But meanwhile, Luffy looks spent from just running. That's a bit suspicious. Fit check! Zoro, A-. Stussy is an A, and Brook, C. Vegapunk is still missing, but no one wants Zoro to go look for a lost person, and that's probably best. Kuma's memories are being seen by Bonnie. He's being beaten as a child while being forced into labor and slavery due to his strong body. What does this mean? Where does this go? And we're still looking for Stella. Someone or something takes out Pythagoras. Man, I haven't seen York for a long time. Okay, what is Big News up to? And why the hell is Vivi and Wapol with him? These two just attended the reverie. Okay, so Big News knows they want to kill Vegapunk, so he concocts a title. Strat Luffy, Emperor of the Seas, wages war with Navy on Egghead, holding Vegapunk hostage. Vivi obviously disagrees with this, but with the news bird, it's all about propaganda clicks and entertainment, baby. I still would like to know what Vivi and Wapol are doing there with Big News though. This silhouette looks an awful lot like, either way, Sanji's shooting his shot at prime work like Stissy. I'm impressed. Oh, there's York. Wait, Pythagoras is taken out by a snake? Okay, whoa, now York was too, and she won't listen to orders. This is a development. Okay, now we have Luffy, Zoro, and Shaka against S-Bear and S-Hawk. Zoro does not want Lucci and Kaku to get killed while being cuffed, but then they ask for help. Team up? Luffy agrees, but first Shaka wants to know what CP0's mission was. Lucci was honest. He said it was to assassinate the punks. And of course, now Stissy can get it. Luffy doesn't care and says, you can't touch my friends because you can't beat me. That's so boss. S-Bear just took a Kongan and Rakogan and got back up. S-Hawk just took a Purgatory Onigiri and Tempest White Kick Thunder, and they're still unscathed. This is crazy. Oh, so there's CP5, CP7, and CP8. Oh, Stella as well. Where are they? We get words that G9 has left the port with over 100 ships total. That's more than we've ever seen. Like ever. Wait, where are we? Shanks! Dorian Brogy? Wait, Shanks is in no, he's being attacked? Red Hair is given a proposition. Fight Shanks or leave his poneglyphs. Red Hair being Kid. If I was him, I'd leave them. Killer reminds Kid that the last time they clashed, it was bad for them. Kid obviously doesn't care. Shanks versus Kid round 2. A lot of round 2s happening lately. Wait, another round 2 could with Kizaru. Anyway, the Seraphim seem unbeatable, even in the face of a Yonko. And that's until Zoro realizes they have the same power and durability trick as King. Took him a little minute, but he figured it out. Okay, Sanji's fighting S-Shark by himself and doing fine. He's wanted to put feet on Jinbei for a while, and now is his chance, so he's really fired up. That could be the reason. But the Seraphim, it can be taken out with a bubble gun? Well, them having green blood gives them the power of the devil fruit, but the weakness of the sea as well. S-Snake petrified Frankie and Usopp. Well, most of Frankie. Shaka had a theory of where Stella could be, followed through, but that's self-fulfilling prophecy because there goes Shaka. He got shot, but by who? The narrator is now setting the tone, because what we've been getting in Egghead is a record of the events before the day of the famous Egghead incident, but it was set in motion 3 months prior. And we have a flashback where the world government learns of Vegapunk studying the Void Sentry from a certain individual that is working with Vegapunk. This led to the decision to assassinate Vegapunk while sending Jay Garcia with Kizaru as protection to Egghead. Apparently the resolution of this incident the following day would inflict a kind of shock the world never saw coming. I wonder what this... Oh, by the way, the traitor was York. She wants to be a celestial dragon. Makes sense as she is Desire, but she set the plan in motion to use the Seraphim to bait everyone in and, well, kill them. But we go back to Elbaf. Kid is still engaging with Shanks and his fleet has some famous pirates. Come to find out, they're famous but they're weak, but Shanks still backs them. Shanks went to Wano for Blackbeard apparently and is even inquiring about Kid's health. He's a good dude. He seems more intrigued after seeing his scraps in the South Blue. I don't think Captain Kid did good things down there. Shanks then sees through Future Sight that Kid would eradicate most of the allied ships with damned Punk, and then Shanks immediately goes into action. Kid had a 10-second countdown and Shanks saw the effect after that attack, so Shanks can see at least 10 seconds into the future. Shanks immediately leaps in one bound from his ship to hit Eustace with a divine departure, a similar technique of Roger's which leads to Kid's attack also imploding on him. Kid is knocked out in one hit, and also Killer who tried to jump in at the last moment. The rest of the crew members offer the poneglyphs to spare Kid's life, but that does not stop Dorian Brogy from using Hakoku's sovereignty to destroy Kid's ship, the Victoria Punk. 3 billion berry power Eustace, Kid, and his crew were utterly destroyed. Kid, you were supposed to be chilling in Elbaf. Kobe has a 5-star reward and escaped his cell in Hachinosu. Shiryu is here, Avila Pizarro is here with the Isle fruit, and Vasco shot with the Glug Glug fruit, and San Juan Wolf with the huge fruit. A lot of these fruits that the Blackbeard Pirates have, they feel redundant, but it's simple, so they probably could learn them faster. We see a flashback of the Blackbeard Pirates. We learned of Sword through Aokiji, and then he decides to use Kobe as a bargaining chip for his plan. And his plan is to turn the pirate island into his own country. Interesting, since he said to plan instead of dream, so he has a lot more in store. Kobe back in real time now is escaping while several members of Sword have shown up. But the greatest of them all was Monkey D. Garp. Not saying he's in Sword, but he was with them. And he seemingly launched his battleship and then launched one of the most devastating attacks in the story because it's pure hockey to annihilate several buildings in the vicinity. Now that's that old man strength. Now Garp says he's losing some strength being so old, and Hibari, someone who's allegedly maybe related to Akainu, gets frozen instantly by Kuzan. Betty boy. But Kuzan is also there in Hachinosu. Nice, Blackbeard flashback. And this is a year after the fight between Akainu and Aokiji. Now Aokiji freezes half of Blackbeard's crew and is approached then by Blackbeard. Blackbeard and Kuzan, they hit it off, funny enough, and they joke about Akainu and his loss. Okay. We then get another inquiry about the man with the burn scar and some hints about him possibly being a government man with the black ship. Luffy then bites off a bit more than he can chew because he brings up taking Kuzan's fruit, and Blackbeard had to calm Kuzan down. He then explained what a pirate is, which was a very good explanation. It's just an alignment of interest. not best friends, which is the opposite of how Luffy and his crew go about things. But in real time, Kuzan asked Garp if he would kill his senior apprentice to save his protege. Kuzan then tries to freeze Garp. Garp breaks out and palms Kuzan's face and sends him into the depths with the blue hole. We're now looking at Law, as we expected, because he lost as well. Blackbeard mentions the Rocky Port incident again and brings it full circle as the hearts that Law stole to become a warlord. All these pirates, well, most of them at least, are still alive on Hachinosu. Beppo then immediately transforms into Sulong form through a rumble ball from Chopper, and even though the Polar Tang was destroyed and most of the crew is in trouble, Law got away and was saved by Beppo. Now we go on to T-Bone. He's one of the more dedicated Marines. He dies and now is being discussed by Sudo and Sengoku revolving around Cross Guild and the bounties. Cross Guild's influence is growing and the Marines are in danger. Sengoku and Suru then at that moment find out that Garp went to Yonko's territory to save Kobe. The old champion of evil who killed T-Bone, which is a regular old man, was now rewarded by Cross Guild and celebrated. Buggy in the midst of this rally is dragged to the meeting room by Lonely Man and Failure Boy. Buggy then unloads on these two about their ambition, which was an amazing moment. He is questioning their drive and their why, hinting that in the past they wanted more, as we know Crocodile did, but not necessarily Mihawk. He then thinks back to how Shanks made him quit his dream due to how special Shanks was. He thought he was for certain going to be the next king. Shanks changed his mind in regards to what he wanted, and Buggy declared them enemies from that point forward. Buggy wants to be king of the pirates, while Crocodile wants to be a businessman, and Mihawk just doesn't want to fight Shanks. I mean, all the Yonko at once. Buggy has declared war on the One Piece world, and Cross Guild is officially in the race. Sabo makes it back to base in Kamabaka to explain all the craziness that's happened. I'm interested. With him were the Lelouchia citizens who wanted to join the cause. He then begins to give the breakdown as to what actually happened in Marijoa. He revealed they actually accomplished what they went for, to declare war by destroying the Celestial Dragon symbol, free slaves, and take Kuma back, and last but not least, destroy the food stockpile. This leads to issues because Marijoa has defense, right? The defense is stout, but there's no defense for the lack of food. Sabo isn't necessarily proud of the Flame Emperor title, but he's willing to accept it if it will incite change. But he was still yet to explain how they caught him in 4K over the dead body of King Cobra, right? This isn't before Dragon makes us privy to the Holy Knights, which he seemed to be fairly worried about. We'll get back to them a bit later. The retelling was fantastic. Karasu was fighting Fujitora, Morley was fighting Green Bull, but they were obviously hindered by their surroundings. They were even being threatened by surrounding celestial dragons to death if anyone got hurt. Now come to find out, Fujitora is actually fighting against Green Bull to help slaves escape. This was also reiterated by the former members of CP9, now currently CP0, the likes of Jabra and Kumadori. Fuji also tried to bring down meteors. Now I don't think that was from ignorance either. That was not a mistake. He knew what he was doing. Sabo then infiltrates the castle while Cobra is about to begin his conversation with the Elder Stars. Sabo then meets Bonnie in the castle, who gave Sabo her blessing to save her dad, and then she just left. Cobra then begins his conversation breaking down the creating of the government we know today. We then find out about Queen Lily, the sovereign of Alabasta back then. Apparently, Queen Lily never made it back to Alabasta after refusing to ascend to Marijoa. The Gorosei, of course, denied any involvement. Meanwhile, Shirohoshi was getting kidnapped by Charlos again because they lost her for a moment again. He eventually gets attacked by Leo inside with Mosgar's blessing, which confirms that Charlos must be Kaido's cousin for the punishment he consistently takes like a champ. Now, in the middle of Cobra's speech, Imu casually strolls and sits in the empty throne to the surprise of Cobra, who is stunned. Cobra then recognizes the name Imu, but Imu starts to talk about the D-Clan and the history of the world. He calls the D-Clan ignorant, not knowing the meaning of their name, while downing Queen Lily for a grave mistake. Apparently, Queen Lily was the reason for the poneglyphs being scattered across the world. The Gorosei pull out guns in preparation to assassinate, but Sabo comes in and tries to end the story by attacking the Gorosei and Imu, but Imu literally eats and consumes Sabo's flames. The surroundings then look like an alternate version of the eclipse in Berserk, as it is revealed that the Gorosei had other forms as well. Sabo manages to get Cobra on his back until he was struck by an attack, which almost put him down for good. Cobra then mentioned that Lily was a D and that we're all Ds, and that Sabo would be better off leaving him, as survival was paramount. Vivi at that point was captured by CP0 until she was saved by an escaping Wapol, who learned too much while peeping through a hole watching the Gorosei and Sabo and Imu battle it out. The chaos of the reverie has led to several ships disembarking at once and various individuals stowing away. We then see the conversation before Lelouch's eradication. It was chosen because it was rebellious, yes, but also it was just in close proximity. We get the names of all the Gorosei and their responsibility as Gorosei. Sabo, Dragon, and mostly Ivankov then break down that they more than likely have an ancient weapon, and that Imu could be a descendant of House Nerona. We then get introduced to a man who was a champion of God Valley while being the supreme commander of the Holy Knights that Dragon was worried about. He then executes Mosgard on the spot for being a good person and protecting regular people who Garling labeled as scum. Garling also being distinguished at God's Valley is an interesting one considering how he views regular people. He was killing Mosgard not for just helping people, but for helping scum. By the way, Garling is a Figarland, the same one mentioned in regards to Shanks, while Shanks was found on God Valley. If you're not aware, in One Piece film Red, Shanks has been connected to the Figarland family, and so therefore people are implying or insinuating that Garling could be connected to Shanks, who'd be his dad, grandfather, uncle, and something of the sort. Now, Garling, based on different translations, because several of them came out, which mentioned he was a champion, ruler, king, but a final translation said he was the actual champion or someone who distinguished himself at God Valley. It's led to several speculations and even questioning some of Garp's accomplishments and even things that Roger did, because why is this guy distinguished at God Valley, and how important is his title, who will he be fighting, etc, etc. Garling is one of the more prominent people we've seen ever in the story, and to get him right before One Piece went on a 5-week break, that was difficult. But here we have it, Egghead in 1500 seconds. Guys, give me your thoughts. What was your favorite part of Egghead based on what we just broke down? Like, subscribe, leave your thoughts below, I'd like to hear them. I will catch you guys in the next one.